Okay, today on a very special edition of World of Tanks, we're going to look at Matilda. She is a fine friend of mine. The Matilda, this is kind of a funny thing. When I'd done the review on the Matilda, when I did the review on the Matilda Black Prince, I got some comments in the forum that, oh, the regular Matilda is better than the Black Prince, and, that's not true. The Matilda Black Prince earns more money because it's premium. It also does more damage per shot, even though it has a little bit less penetration. It's about 30 hit points more per hit. So it does outdo the regular Matilda. However, that is not to say this is not a great tank. Now, I don't do a whole lot of Tier 2 through Tier 4 reviews, only really noteworthy tanks, because to be honest with you, most tanks that are Tier 1 to Tier 4 are kind of like, okay, I'm doing 5 battles, okay, next tank. And so you don't really spend a lot of time in them, but I try to find a couple tanks that are Tier 4, because oftentimes when friends come over, they aren't as skilled as I am, or they don't have the garage that I have, and I've also got a couple kids, that are teenagers or younger, and, they don't, once again, they're playing on a Tier 3, Tier 4 level, so I like to be able to platoon with them and go out and have some fun, so I try to look for Tier 4 tanks that are noteworthy, and so this is one of them. The Hetzer is one, the Electo is one, the Kiho, the Japanese Kiho, those are all Tier 4 tanks that are good. They can be used even up to Tier 6 fairly well, and they're noteworthy because of that. And this just happens to be one of those tanks. So the good things about the Matilda, well, it's got decent armor. If you keep it, hull down, try to hide it as best as possible. Don't go out in the field because it's slow. But the armor is fairly good, and you're going to bounce a lot of Tier 3 through Tier possibly even 5 tanks. They are going to have a hard time getting through your thick armoring. And, if you play it hull down and you keep with the terrain and hide and be smart, you can make this tank last a long time. One of the other good things is that the rate of fire is insane. It's less than 2 seconds for a reload, so you can fire really fast, and it has very high penetration. So you're going to penetrate even up to Tier 6 pretty easily. You can penetrate. The downside with this tank, one, it's slow, and going back to the gun, it does very little damage. The most damage that you're going to do is 69. The average damage that you do per shot is 50. Now, that doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you think about it, if you wanted to kill, let's say, a Tier 4 Hetzer, you're going to have to hit it at least 6 times to kill it. Now, let's say you run into a Tier 5 heavy tank, like, the T1 heavy tank or the KV1. You're going to have to hit that bad boy about 15 times. Good hits to kill it. And imagine if you're going to bounce, it's going to take you twice as many. You could be, if you had a KV sitting out in the field, the KV1, AFK, and you started shooting it, it would take you almost a minute to kill that tank. So you see the problem with the gun. But still, it's a good tank, and it's a good gun. And a lot of times you can turn the tide of battle with this tank if you use it right. So let's go ahead and look at the stats. First of all, at Tier 3, it has 370 hit points. And let's take a look at, Tier 4. And I don't really have any other Tier 4 mediums. Do I still have the Panther? No, I got rid of it. I had the Panther 3 for a while, or Panzer 3. We can look at the Chinukai, or they're all lights. Hold on. Let's look at the B1 heavy tank. We have 420 hit points on the B1. Back to our Matilda. On the Matilda, we have 370, so it has almost as many hit points as the B1. We have 190 horsepower with a 30-ton tank. The end result is a whopping 24 kilometers per hour, which is deplorable. It's very slow. Not a bad traverse speed of 36, and not a bad turret traverse of 34. Not bad for a medium tank. It can turn and turn its turret pretty quickly. 75 armor on the front, both the body and the turret, and that's good at Tier 4. Now at Tier 6, you're going to be hurting, but if you're in a top tier battle, that's not bad. And let's look at the turret. Is 75 all the way around, so you get a nice strong turret. 70 armor on the side, though these are weak spots. And then, of course, the back is weak at 55. pretty much anybody can penetrate you back there. That's larger than tier 3. And so, yeah, that's the armor. It's good. It's not bad. You want to angle, and you definitely want to keep this as a weak spot. This is kind of weak here, these because they're flat. So you want to kind of keep these hidden if possible. Really, the best practice for this... Whoa, I don't know what I did there. Okay. The best practice for this tank, along with any Matilda-style tank, any of the Matildas, you're going to use the hills to kind of hide the tank. This gun points down. I think this one's 10. So you can get a pretty good, you know, hull down position and just poke your head up and fire. And all these angles are going to bounce shots a lot better than the front of your tank is. So you try to use the hills and the ground for cover and fire. And then you can do really well. So let's look at the gun. Here's the gun that we're using. I didn't use the howitzer. You could use this, but with a penetration of 38 and a pretty low derpometer, that's really not worth using. But here you can see our average penetration is 121, which is really high for tier 4. But it only does 55 damage, and that's really where the heart of the issue. But it's still good. It's not bad. Once again, I don't want to make it sound like it's terrible. It's actually a fun gun to run. You just don't do much damage. And sometimes you'll have a really good battle, and you go out, and you've only done 300 damage. And it's like, what? How did I only do 300? So that pretty much covers that. And then, you know, decent view range, average, pretty low signal range, actually. Not that great. But as far as the equipment goes, I do use a gun laying drive. I know it seems silly, but because this thing reloads so fast, you really need the gun laying drive to force it to re-aim quickly, because you're going to be like pow, pow, pow. You need that circle to get small again so you hit your target. And definitely I use the gun rammer and the vents, and all of that equals a gun that fires like every 1.5 seconds. It's just incredible. So let's go ahead and run this tank. Oh, my service record. I always do that. Let's look at the statistics. So where did we go? Oh, there it is at the very bottom. I've got 30 battles in the Matilda, and I've already researched the Churchill, so I could actually sell this. Direct 50% win rate. That's not that great, but that's pretty high for tier 4 here, this 459. And maximum destroyed per battle, 5. I'm sure that'll get better as time goes on. But I've had 30 battles, destroyed 24 tanks. It's okay. It's not great. Not a great service record. Once again, you don't destroy a lot of tanks because you don't do enough damage to take a tank all the way down. Usually you'll start hitting them and somebody else will kill them is what ends up happening. But with a 50% win rate, that's okay. And once again, let's look at the Matilda BP. Once again, for those of you who said that the Matilda's better, here's the Matilda BP. 39 battles, so I'm very similar in the amount of battles, but 9 more battles. 61% win rate, 605 average experience. Now, and that's not, this doesn't take in the premium multiplier. So, you know, this is a higher tier. It's a tier higher, and yet still, I've got a way better win rate with this tank. So, and look at the kills. Maximum destroyed, 9. 39 battles, 52 destroyed. So my destruction ratio is very high on this one, 2.8, 2.48. So this is a way better tank than the non-premium Matilda. But I like this tank. We're friends. I really don't mind this tank, and it's kind of a fun tank to play. So let's go ahead and run it, and then we'll be off. Here we go. Perfect. Terrible tiering and a horrible map for this tank. This map is absolutely awful for any tank that needs to be hull down because it's open and flat, or it's flat. It's not open in the city, but it's flat. So this just puts us into a really bad situation here. I hope you're enjoying seeing this map more because now we have 2 different versions. We've got the regular and the on fire.
Let's get this show on the road.
I really like this map though, on fire. I think it looks good. I think they did a nice job. I know people are mad because now you have to see this twice as much. Same with the Wintersdorf, the Himmelsdorf Winter. You're going to see that a lot more now because they've got 2 versions of it. But I like it. I think it looks cool. I like the dark skies. This looks like a Cleveland sunset when the bad weather rolls in. Or Medina in our case, but we're close enough. So as you can see, I'm going to try to get up to this if I can. Hopefully make it up to this ridge before the heat gets on, and use this to haul down. Nope, I'm going to be spotted at this point. And Hellcat's firing on him. Got a good hit. A20 is the Sua Scout, I guess. See if we can hit this dude. Dude. Yeah, they're targeting the E2. I probably won't be able to penetrate the E2. Just saying. But I'm just going to sit here. Yeah, he's going to fire at me. Yeah, he's in a good spot. But I'm going to try to keep him lit so that we can... Oh, yeah.
We didn't even scratch them. Enemy armor destroyed.
And that's what 120 pen gets you. In general, that's a lot of pen for a tier 4 tank.
Enemy is hit.
But, you know, you got to hit him a lot of times to kill him. And now I can't get my gun down enough to hit the dude. So far, this is going really well. Jeez. So I'm going to head city now because obviously these guys are going to clear this upper area and I'm not fast enough to really be part of that fun. So the 122A is going to get... Oh, T49. See if we can't hit that dude. Nope. It's a nice rush trying to save the day. Wow, they just folded, man. This was not anything that I did to win this battle. But I'm going to try to be a pest here. Another T49. Whiffed. Yeah, they just... This is what I'm talking about. Look how many times I'm going to have to hit this dude to kill him. And now I got to back out because he's going to fire on me. See how little piddly damage I did? He'll probably kill me. Nope, got him. So that's where the 120 pen comes in. That makes it, you know, somewhat fun. All right. So here is the results. I ended up killing the Hellcat and the MA. So once again, I talk about how bad the gun is, and then I go and kill 2 tier 6 tanks. But that's not, you know, and that is the standard. You have to know how to play this tank. You keep it low. You keep it out of situations. You saw how much damage the Hellcat did to me with one hit. Blammo. 10,000 without premium. That's not a bad take home. But once again, if this had been the BP, that would be 20. Or 16 or 18 or something. So, look here on the team score. I scored pretty high. On the damage roll, though, I'm way down there. And that's typical of this tank. You're not going to do a lot of damage. You can't. You have to fire every second and be hitting every single time. So let's go ahead and run this again. All right, so this is the third battle in a row I've done. I got rid of the middle one because it was boring and I didn't really do much, and we won, but this one, this is the third. They've all been tier 6 battles, so... Oh, come on, guys. I don't know why I keep getting into tier 6 matches with this, but it's possible, so here we go. Everybody's running tier 6 again. It happened when they had get the IS-3 or IS-6 for free or whatever. Everybody was running tier 6s. But I think this is, yeah, tier... The Tetrarch right now, I think, is the one, and I think it's tier 4 and up, so I don't think it's quite as demanding as this one, or as the IS-6 mission. So... But it seems like everybody's running 6 anyway, so I'm running in both. The last couple days I've noticed it, both in my tier 5 premiums and in this, like these tier 4 tanks, I keep getting tier 6. So, oh shoot, I'm backing out, not doing it. I hate that FE304. Man. So I'm really the only one here. I'm not going to be able to hold up much, but hopefully... Sucks being the little guy, man. This is where it's a real problem to be tier 4 and do no damage. Yeah, one hit from that 90 and that's it, man.
We didn't even scratch them.
And our battle's over pretty much. There we go. I want this dude to come out. He's got one more hit. Nobody's helping. Good game.
We didn't penetrate their armor. We didn't penetrate their armor.
Yeah, and you can't penetrate a tier 6 heavy.
Everybody out.
Yeah, great game. There you go. That's what it's like to be in a tier 6 battle in a tier 4, especially the Matilda. Yay. So as you can see, one of those team fail things. Of course, we got defeated pretty handily. You start yelling for help and nobody's coming, you know it's over. Yeah, our FE304 lived somehow. They must have capped. Wow, they still did a pretty good bang up on their team. But yeah, it's not a good battle. But that's typical. Yeah, if you are going to get run over occasionally by a tier 6 tank, and that's yelling for help, nobody comes, and there's nobody left to come. So here we go. Let's do one more. And a tier 5 battle. Okay, so we're gonna go down the heavy track. Everybody went this way. I'm gonna go the other way. And we're gonna go back this way because nobody went that way. Oh boy. Oh well. Stupid idiots. This is what happens when you get lower tier play on a Monday of all things. It's like the worst teams. Monday, I found that Monday is like the worst day for players. Here we have a PZ1C saying he's not a scout. Whining about the MM and then saying, I'm not a the 1C is not a scout. What? What's you talking about, Willis? All right, let's see, KV1. M7. Sometimes I wonder where these bullets go. There's probably houses and stuff back there, but I guess we're going to turn into base defense here since I'm slow.
That one bounced. That one bounced.
Of course it did. It's the front of a KV1, you silly. Oh, boy. Did they get him? They got him. All right. Somehow I think that M7 got away, though. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Where did he go? Nobody knows. Chinu's not going to get away. So, hopefully this PZ4 is going to fall back. But he won't. PZ4, fall back. Oh my gosh. I just will never get there in time. Hopefully these guys will be stupid enough to come along the top. But it looks like they're down in the ditch already, so. Oh boy. So we're going to come in and help this PZ4. SU-85B. What do we got going on here, man? The D2. I don't think he can damage me, but boy. Oh, I'm in a ditch. I'm like, man, what happened to my gun?
Enemy armor is hit.
Well, yeah. And that's what I was talking about. You're not killing. You're damaging, but you're not necessarily killing. I'll damage all these guys, but I won't kill any of them because the other guys will end up killing them. Oh, man. Is our team doing this bad? Really? I mean, we're winning, but it's like they're dying off. Oh, lordy. Did our PZ-1C die yet? Yeah, of course. Not a light tank. Oh, my gosh. Goes 70 miles an hour, and it's not a light tank. Come on, buddy. Come on. Dang it, I can't see him. Yeah, back up just a little more. Just a little more. Yeah! Perfect.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Oh, totally winged it to the right. That was partly my fault, partly the... Yeah, that Stug is getting bonked. Okay. What is the situation here? We've got Churchill, nobody defending the middle. Valentine, Stug 3, Grill, T-14. That's bad. The Churchill is doomed.
Penetration. We've damaged them. Critical hit.
Okay, that's one less. So we got one tank destroyer, one T-14. I feel like I'm ordering McDonald's. Already killed a Stug. Oh my gosh, that guy's just... There we go. So this, I would say, and this is, we can end the review after this battle, because this is a very typical battle for the Matilda. You're not going to make the difference much, but you're going to make some difference. And you're too slow to really do much of anything. Yeah, they got the Stug. Good, good. Good, good, good. But that T-14, that's bad news. What do we got going on over there? We got our Churchill 3 versus a T-14. My vote goes for the Churchill 3. He's got a better gun. Oh, but it looks like the T-14's taking him to town. Oh. Come on, guys. And you're pretty much out of the rest of the battle. This is what sucks about this tank. Do-do-do-do-do. Same thing happens to the BP. Same thing happens to the Matilda 4. I mean, it's true of all three tanks. There he goes. Churchill beat him. Good job, Church. Good job, Church. Yeah. LEFH, it's pretty tough little artillery. All right, win. So as you folks can see, you know, that really is a good example of what this tank does, you know. 500 damage. I'm kind of in the middle of the list at 387 experience. That's kind of high, actually, on the damage, surprisingly. But especially on a tier 5-6 battle, you're just not going to do that much. But you can damage things, which is nice. But it's small. As you saw when that M6 came at me in the one map, on the Himmelsdorf. My goodness. I mean, I hit him once, did like 4 damage, and then the rest was just getting run over. So, but I do like this tank. It's not a bad tank, and it really, for Tier 4, it's fun. Now, if you get a Tier 4 match, and unfortunately we didn't see that today, it is a lot of fun in Tier 4, because you really can just run everybody over. Yeah, you saw what I did to the Su-85B. He couldn't do anything to me. I just tore him up. And I kept firing, and he just doesn't, by the time they realize it's too late, and you've killed him. So, you know, in that sense, it's great. But it is slow, and it's, you know, it's deficient in some areas, but it's not a bad tank. It's fun. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. If it's something that looks like it's interesting to you, the nice thing is it's free. You don't have to pay anything for it. So, but I would recommend, you know, like I said, working the gun here with your modules. And, of course, you know, the better your crew is, the better the tank is. So, have a great afternoon. Don't forget to subscribe. This is V Blue Guitar signing out. Sir, yes, sir.